Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah's peace and blessings be upon His final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his household and his companions. My dearest viewers, wherever you are, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. And welcome back to our show, Every Word Counts. In this show, inshallah ta'ala, we are taking verses from the Quran al-Kareem, from which we extract words to learn and comprehend, inshallah, in order to get connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through these words. Today, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're going to be reading from Surah Faatir, and here is the recitation, inshallah ta'ala. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور إن الشيطان لكم عدو فاتخذوه عدوا إنما يدعو حزبه ليكونوا من أصحاب السعير الذين كفروا لهم عذاب شديد والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير أفمن زين له سوء عمله فرآه حسنا فإن الله يضل من يشاء ويهدي من يشاء فلا تذهب نفسك عليهم حسرات إن الله عليم بما يصنعون. So this is the verse, inshallah ta'ala, or the verses where we're going to be concentrating, inshallah, to extract the words that we are learning today, inshallah ta'ala. This verse basically starts with Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, inna wa'dallahi haqq. Allah's promise is true. Inna wa'dallahi haqq. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. So do not be deceived by this worldly life. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. And do not be deceived by al-gharur, al-shaytan. وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ. Indeed, the devil, al-shaytan, is your enemy. عَدُوٌ. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ عَدُوٌ. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا. So treat him as an enemy. فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا. So take him as your enemy. إن الشيطان لكم عدو فاتخذوه عدوا إنما يدعو حزبه ليكونوا من أصحاب السعير. Indeed, he calls his people, his group, to be amongst those who will be in hell. الذين كفروا لهم عذاب شديد. The disbelievers will be punished a severe punishment. والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة. And the believers, those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات, and they have done good deeds, they will be where? They will be in Jannat al-Na'im, they will be in the paradise, inshallah. So this is parts of the verses I read earlier, inshallah ta'ala, and the first word, inshallah, we're going to take today, inshallah. Let's say the phrase we're going to take today is wa'dullah. Inna wa'dallahi haqq. Allah's promise is true. Wa'dullah. Wa'dullah is a really strong phrase. Let me just write it for you here, inshallah, so at least you are following in writing as well. Wa'du Allah. Wa'dullah. Wa'dullah, Allah's promise. Wa'd in Arabic, when it is used without anything extra, just like promise, it can use as a promise, and it can use as what? As a warning. Okay? As a warning. Wa'd, because when it's in Arabic, it is a bit specific. It's not plain like when we say promise in English. It's a bit wide, but in Arabic it's more specific. If it's a promise, you say it's wa'd. If it's like threatening somebody, like if it's a threat, it's called wa'id. Very close in the way, in the pattern, in the way how it's spoken, but it's a bit different. Wa'd is the promise. Wa'id is what is the threat. So inna wa'd Allahi haqq. Allah's promise is true. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to the good that He created for those who believe and those who do good deeds in this dunya. So wa'dullah, when you say wa'ada, to promise, that's why we call the appointment maw'id. In Arabic, if you want to say I have an appointment, you say لدي موعد. Maw'id. Maw'id is what? Is the appointment. It comes from this wa'd because something you are looking forward to what? To accomplish or reach. So that is al-wa'd. So al-wa'd or al-wa'id and maw'id very close to each other. Wa'd, wa'dun, wa'du khair. If it's a good promise, you say wa'du khair, good. If it's wa'du shar, also it is bad. But if you want to use one word, you can be more specific, as I said. If you want to say it is a promise that is good, something good, you can just say wa'd. But if you want to say it's a bad promise, it's something that is bad, you can say wa'id. So the person who hears the word, he knows that it is not some good promise, it's like a threat basically. That is wa'id. So again, it is a bit, you can be more specific in Arabic if you want, by using one word. Okay, so that's the first word. The second word we're learning today, inshallah, from this verse is the word of يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ. يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ. So don't be deceived by this worldly life, Al-ghurur. So let me write the word for you first, and then we go through a bit of explanation. يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ. Okay, that's ya, and this is ghain. Here we go. فلا يغرنكم فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا. So don't be deceived by this word. So the word of يغرنكم came from al-ghurur. Al-ghurur, it is the arrogance people have. That is what al-ghurur is. The arrogance, the pride, the vanity. That is al-ghurur. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا, there is another word which is deception, al-khida'. But Allah didn't use the word of al-khida', though it is suitable for this place here in Quran, because you will be deceived. He said to you, do not be deceived by this worldly life. But Allah didn't use the word of al-khida'. He used the other word, the word of al-ghurur. Though al-ghurur is what? Is vanity and pride and arrogance. So why did Allah use this word in this particular place? I will explain this later on in the tafsir, in the second part of this show, when we speak about the meanings of the verse. It's very important to know why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use the word vanity in the place of talking about deception. So the third word, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to take today is hasarat. Okay, the word of hasarat. فَلَا تَذْهَبْ نَفْسُكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَسَرًا. He said, Allah is saying to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't feel too sorry, too bad, don't feel it's kind of regret towards those people, the pagans who actually went against you and harmed you, companions. Hasarat comes from al-hasra, from pain, from regrets. So let's write it and then we talk about it for a bit, inshallah ta'ala. Hasarat. Hasarat. I'm just trying to write the word in a quick way, inshallah ta'ala. So at least you know how it is written. So hasarat comes from hasrah. Al-hasra is the regret, basically. When we say أنا متحسر means I am in pain, I regret something. And so hasra, we say hasra dabba when the person, the farmer or the person who owns like an animal, for instance a donkey or mule or a horse, when you use the animals too much and you make the animal so tired out of hard work, that is called hasra. The Arabs say hasra dabba, you cause the animal like pain. So Al-Arab in Arabic language use the word of hasra to mean regret. Why? Because when you regret something, you are actually in pain. So that's why, that is where the word of hasra came. Otherwise we have other word, is nadama. And nadama means regret. So there are many words for same meaning, but hasra, and it means regret, it came from this meaning, because the dabba, the animal, goes through difficulties. That's what you go through as well when you are regretting something, you are in pain. So for now we're going to stop inshallah ta'ala, because we're going to take a short break, and then I hope you stay with me inshallah so we can go through the meanings of this inshallah the verse. But before I let you go inshallah, don't forget that we have the website always ready for you inshallah ta'ala. Go to the website, download these flashcards. You can use the app as well. Just anyway how to use these words inshallah ta'ala. Talk about them at home with your kids, your sisters at home, with your husband, with your wife. Basically we have the website inshallah to help you memorize and get used to these words inshallah. And the main goal is to be connected through them with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I see you after the break inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all and welcome back to our show. Every word counts. Now inshallah we're going to be going through the verses inshallah ta'ala, where I want you to go and see if you can see where these words for today are in the verses inshallah ta'ala, and then you can inshallah check in the website inshallah to see the words inshallah ta'ala. So let me read the first inshallah verse for today inshallah ta'ala. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وكذلك أعثرنا عليهم ليعلموا أن وعد الله حق وأن الساعة لا ريب فيها إذ يتنازعون بينهم أمرهم فقالوا ابنوا عليهم بنيانا ربهم أعلم بهم قال الذين غلبوا على أمرهم لنتخذن عليهم مسجدا. That is the first verse. The second one inshallah, it will be ينادونهم ألم نكن معكم قالوا بلى ولكنكم فتنتم أنفسكم وتربستم وارتبتم وغرتكم الأماني حتى جاء أمر الله وغركم بالله الغرور. That is the second verse. The third verse inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala is as follows. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأنذرهم يوم الحسرة إذ قضي الأمر وهم في غفلة وهم لا يؤمنون. So these are three verses inshallah where I want you to go inshallah and check for the words we have learned today inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so let us start from the beginning of the verse. يا أيها الناس, O people. Sometimes in the Quran al-Kareem you see يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O who you believe, and sometimes you see يا أيها الناس, O people. This is a general announcement for all mankind, everybody, everyone, Muslim, non-Muslim, young, old, man, women, everyone is involved in this call. يا أيها الناس إن وعد الله حق. Allah's promise is true. Allah's promise is true. As I said earlier, wa'd, when it is said, spoken by itself without saying promise of to do such and such, for instance. Just the word of promise means the good, means promising something good. Okay? So, inna wa'd Allahi haqq. So the first thing Allah is calling people to is to recognize what He prepared for the believers. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ. Though the punishment is also wa'dun haqq, also it is a true promise. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used wa'd, not wa'id. Why? Because He wants to call people to paradise. He wants to call people to the good of the hereafter. Also the paradise of this dunya, because there is a paradise in this dunya as well. We'll talk about that at another time, inshallah ta'ala. So, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ. So do not be deceived by this worldly life. Okay, why? Because this life, there are many things are basically calling people to take the wrong path. There is the alternative, there is the good path, there is the halal entertainment. But unfortunately, people sometimes don't look at the good, they just buy the deception from a shaitan will make people think of or praise the bad path without realizing that the good path has something better than what a shaitan is calling them to. فَلَا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. I'm going to come back to something I mentioned earlier in the first part of this program. The word of al-ghurur. Al-ghurur, when you want to say somebody is deceived by somebody, is called انخدع, from al-khida'. Okay? You can be deceived by anybody if you are not aware of the tricks they are using on you. You can fall into the trap. That is called al-khida'. But the word of al-ghurur has something extra embedded in it, which is the arrogance that people have. You say, رَجُلٌ مَغْرُورٌ بِنَفْسِهِ. This man has arrogance. He believes in himself too much. He thinks he's got something makes him better than others. That is the ghurur in Lugha al-Arabiya. When you have this feeling, this arrogance inside of you, this feeling that you are better than others, okay, you know it all, so you're not listening to others, you think you're better than them. That is ghurur. So why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use the word of al-ghurur in this particular place in this verse? Because when a shaitan or the dunya in general calls people to the wrong path, it is very clear to people that this path is not good. It's not going to take you to something that is good. You can see it, but because of your own desires, because of our own desires, we pretend that there's nothing wrong with this path, so we follow the path to which a shaitan is calling us. So that's why Allah used the word of al-ghurur, because we are part of misguidance as well. It's for Allah to tell us that when you follow the path of a shaitan, you follow it because you are part of this misguidance. You know that this path is not taken to good. Yeah, so when we go back to the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, to his traditions, we see that many people went against him, though they believed from the bottom of their hearts that this man is truthful, and the path that he is calling them to is perfect. But they decide to go against him. Why? Because of that, because of their own desires. Some people, it's just because they couldn't give up some of their habits, they pretended that he is lying to them and he has no authenticity in whatever he's calling them to. But deeply, when they sit down together by themselves, they really know, they even talk about it, that this man is known to be truthful, he is known to be a good man, but they are against him because of their own desires. Some pagans, they said to him, Ya Muhammad, can we become Muslim, but we make drinking wine halal? He said no. So they left. So they didn't become Muslim just because they couldn't give up. Yeah, and some people went against him just because they couldn't give up a riba, usury. Some people couldn't give up slavery. You know, they can't stand sitting down with these slaves and treating them like their own brothers, because when Islam came, he made people like brothers. There's no master and slave. Everybody are brothers. So we have to, you know, to accommodate your brother and believe that he's in your level. Probably he's better than you. And your money, your wealth, your masterhood, whatever you have, doesn't make you anything better than him. It's about taqwa. It's about how much fear you have in your heart towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much love you have for Allah. How much you do towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what makes you a good person. So they couldn't accept the idea of brotherhood. Even they came to Muhammad and said, "Ya Muhammad, forget about those poor people, those slaves. Forget about Ammar ibn Yasir, forget about Bilal ibn Rabah, forget about Khabbab, forget about Ibn Mas'ud, forget about these people who are poor and slaves, and just be with us and we follow you." So why they went against Islam is just because they couldn't give up their pride, their arrogance. So that's why, from Allah's wisdom, He used the word of al-ghurur here instead of al-khida' and other words in Arabic. And there are many words in Arabic which means the same thing. Now, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said after, وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ, and do not be deceived by who? By al-gharur. Who's al-gharur? Is a shaitan. Allah called the shaitan al-gharur, so He extracted, He derived the name for a shaitan from the word of al-ghurur, which is arrogance. Okay, so because that creature, all what he's good at is to take people from the good path and put them in the wrong path. Okay, the crime we have in the society, wherever you go, is because of this. He's trying to get people from good to bad. When people go and do bad stuff, it's just because of that. They've been deceived by him. That's why Allah extracted a name for him from the word of al-ghurur, arrogance, because what calls him to do that is the arrogance. Okay, so what is the solution here? The solution is to take this advice. Before we say, before we do, before we take an action, we think properly. We really need to think about the consequences of whatever we utter with, whatever we do. If we believe that this thing is good and it will lead to good, go ahead for it. When we think that this thing is not permissible because it leads to disasters, it leads to wrong things, then we have to avoid it. We have to put our desires on the side when it comes to making decisions, if I'm going to do this or that. Because making our desires the base of our thoughts and actions and decisions will lead us astray. And that's why we have too much problems within ourselves, within our societies, within our families, because of this small thing. Because we just act on the basis of our desire. We don't think about the consequences of what we're doing. So this verse is very important to reflect upon, think about it. Read it twice, 3 times, read as much as you can. It's really good advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should not be deceived by the worldly life, especially because this life has many good things. There are many things we can enjoy. There's no need for us to go and follow the wrong path. So I'm not going to take more than this time, inshallah, because the time of the program is finished. I just want to remind you, inshallah ta'ala, that we have the website again ready for you, inshallah ta'ala. Go to it, download the words, try to use them, communicate with your family, with your friends, colleagues, wherever you go. Try to use them, make them part of your life, inshallah ta'ala, because if you use them, you won't lose them. So inshallah ta'ala, I hope I see you, inshallah ta'ala, next time. Here is Hassan Boulaghrasse Al-Jashtimi saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all.
Ah